Well, good day. Meta has been called out, and rightfully so. They were doing that whole shady thing, especially with the inauguration about how if you were going to look for information on the Democrats or Obama or anything, Joe, that all of a sudden it was this information is private or this information contains sensitive information, you can't see it. And they were actively suppressing Democratic content. And then when called out on it, facing a backlash, Mark and Meta say, oops, it was a technical error. Sure it was. And then it comes out, this story, which we're hearing more and more about, is how they're automatically following people on Meta with the Walrus and JD. And if you've never followed them before or never followed the post before, all of a sudden you were following. And so I was like, this is interesting. So I went and I checked it myself. And sure enough, and I was like, okay, well, maybe this is because, I was following Vice President Harris before and I was, following Joe. So I unfollowed them, right? Checked unfollow. Then I go back in later in the day. It's following them. I had unfollowed them, back to following. So I unfollowed them. Went back in later, back to following again. Had to do it 3 times. And then I was like, this is ridiculous. I went back to JD. It was following again, so I just blocked him, blocked the VP account. And then I went back to POTUS, and I had to block that too. So it was literally every single time I'd follow, back, I unfollow, follow, back. And I was like, this was just ridiculous. It was forcing me to follow them, even though I didn't want to. So I've heard some people say that even Meta's gone in and been removing the blocks for them and refollowing people. I think it's an AI that they have set up that's automatically doing it. And so, but really, really, really shady things going on by Meta. Really, really shady things. But come on, are we surprised? But they even go into the fact that they went so far as to suppress, contents, about Democratic causes and Democratic creators. And then they only backtrack when they got called out on it. Yeah, we know what Mark was talking about when he talked to the Walrus. We all know. And we all know there's some really, really, really shady things going on social media. Not just on Meta and Instagram, but even on this app. We know there's some really shady things. And I know I'm not the only one who's talked about it, that TT 2.0 just feels off. There's just something that's different now. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's really different. And if the Walrus and other of his friends get a hold of, 50% of TT as they want, it's not going to be good. It's going to be even more icky. But if you haven't yet, on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, to go in and unfollow the Walrus and JD, the POTUS and the VP. But just heads up, you might have to unfollow them multiple times and block them because they'll more than likely go back to following them over and over and over again. For some reason, it doesn't do it, but for the majority of us, I personally didn't believe it until it happened to me. Well, I hope you have a good day.